So, my name is Tia Ross, and I have to confess something. The reason why I am so passionate about Money 911 is because I was a Money 911 situation. I was birthed into poverty. I did not ask to be in a poverty mindset family. I'm talking generations. I'm not just talking poverty because we didn't have money at the end of the month. I'm talking poverty in a mindset, just simply not being aware. No malice, no right, no wrong, just generation after generation of struggle. Watching the women in my family work 9 to 5s, be on welfare, take government assistance, and be comfortable with not having money by the end of the month. Watching my family constantly struggle after struggle financially. It caused us to be put into situations where we had to use the streets to hustle to make the money. And any of you know, if you've experienced a hustle energy, a hustle mentality, what comes with that is a never ending cycle that leads to unhealthy eating habits. It leads to unhealthy thoughts, unhealthy relationships. At the bottom line, when I look at the crime that surrounded my community, and I look at the bottom line of it all, we were just all in survival. See, everyone, my uncles, my aunties, the people who were like my cousins but weren't our blood family, but we called them family, what bonded us together was trying to survive, to put food on the table. And I'm not just talking about any type of healthy food. I'm talking about the kind of food that we just needed to put in our bellies to keep us full until we made it to the next meal. So, carb city, right? Potatoes, tortillas, beans, lard, butter, meat, not the best choices of meat either. Salt, all of the flavoring that you need to make that kind of stuff taste good. And then to wash it all down with soda, beer, or alcohol. I mean, first thing in the morning, too. So, when you get into this rut of trying to survive, you don't realize that you're slowly killing yourself. I watched the people around me slowly kill themselves, not just with food, but also drugs. You see, when you live that kind of a lifestyle, you have to escape it somehow. It's so much pressure. You're constantly worrying about your health, your life, and you're in a survival mode. So therefore, at some point, you have to unplug and unwind. And how do you do that? Smoke weed, drink, have a margarita or two, and relax. And then it becomes this fellowship time. And I watch this year after year after year after year. The most economic education that I received was probably in school. Well, I take that back. My grandmother. I remember her taking me to the Bank of America at about 14, and we opened up a bank account. See, I started working at 14. I knew that I needed to work because the adults around me were already trying to survive just to put food on the table and keep the lights on. So anything extra that I would need to do in school, like prom, like having the newest, latest shoes or looking a certain way, I would pretty much have to get that on my own. Now, they did buy things for me. I do come from a loving family. However, watching them struggle made me feel bad as a kid. And so I didn't want to add the extra burden on them. So I started working at an early age. I became a teenage mom at 16. And I was also the oldest in my family. So I oftentimes took on the weight or the burden of a family's responsibility from my mom. And it killed me inside to watch her deal with domestic violence, deal with trying to struggle and not living out her dream. You see, I lost my dad at about 15 years old to alcohol. He was in the service and he became an alcoholic, and it ate away at his liver. And he did not survive it. So I watched people around me, my closest loved ones, fall off. Their dreams disappear. Their hopes gone. Their lives, in some instances, literally taken from this earth because of healthy choices. My grandfather, 5 bypass surgeries to his heart. My grandmother, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. One of my aunts, cancer. Now, even me talking about it right now, I could feel this energy around it that perpetuates generation after generation after generation. And while I am brave enough to confess and tell you some of the things I dealt with, what I know is that it's only gotten worse for the communities and families here in America. See, I've gone off and I've worked in the communities for 25 years. I've traveled around the United States, working in communities, building and bridging gaps between services and families, because I never wanted families to experience all that I did. And even if they were experiencing it, I wanted them to know that there's a different way. And so, Money 911 to me is saving me first, because I'm applying everything that I give to my families. See, I'm really excited because while there's been tragedy that I'm talking about, the other side of this thing is that it didn't take me out. I'm still standing. I'm still healthy. I made it through college. I owned a couple homes. I started businesses. I did not get on government's assistance. I created my own wealth. So if I can do it, I know that the families in our communities across this nation can do it as well. And so I'm excited because God put into my life my business partner, Chris Miller. Now get this, guys. Here I am, walking down this road, living this life, making it, trying to move to the next level, not really truly understanding wealth, just dipping my toe in how to create wealth for myself in a different lifestyle. And then God blesses me with someone named Chris Miller, who works with wealth, but beyond that, she has a wisdom, a level of wealth wisdom that a lot of people don't have. And if the generations in my family had it, they would have surely passed that along. All they're doing is the best they can with what they have. So Money 911 is designed to give families across this nation. Oh, now wait a minute. You heard my story, but wait till you hear the stories of these other families. Because here's the thing. I know families that do have money and they still have a poverty mindset. Now, they may not have the violence because of gangs, but they do have violence in their relationships. Abusive in their language, abusive physically sometimes, sometimes the rage between these families, and the money somehow, ironically, whether you have it or you don't, is tied to all of this that is happening.